Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X. In this episode, we're still in the Comlands, but there are a couple more things I want to show you. In this little area right here, we will find... what do we have? A little monster arena. Okay, this dude is sort of like a monster handler that keeps a bunch of monsters locked up in this cave here to use for training purposes for the Crusaders. Unfortunately, he's gotten a little senile, all the monsters escaped, and he wants us to go and retrieve them for him, or at least catch new ones. To do that, we're going to have to go and buy weapons from him. He doesn't just give them to us, even though we're doing him a favor. Buy weapons and finish the fight or finish an enemy off using these weapons. They're not particularly powerful weapons, so you're not going to run around using these weapons all the time instead of what you normally had. But as long as you make the kill blow with that weapon, the monster is captured.
Halt!
Oh, what the hell does he want?
Summons from Lord Seymour. Come with us.
We have nothing to discuss with Maester Seymour.
Yeah, so out of our way.
Lord Seymour's commands must be obeyed. You will come.
I warn you, the Maester doesn't need you alive.
Really? You can have us fight that? Okay, boss battle time. Now I think this is kind of funny that the Guado, at the command of Seymour, who is a Maester of Yevon, they are going and unleashing this gigantic Machina weapon on them in the middle of the Comlands. Now, the Comlands aren't exactly frequented by a whole lot of people, but two groups of people you are likely to find near the Comlands or near this area would be the Crusaders, who you kind of want on your side. You'd think Yevon wouldn't be so willing to go and do something so obviously messed up as using a weapon like this around the Crusaders. And also the Ronso happen to be around here, even though we haven't seen them. Not yet, anyway. So it's kind of a risky thing that they're willing to go and use this. Oh, it's immune. They're willing to use this weapon in plain view of so many people. Also note that I had quite a bit more difficulty working against this monster than I expected to. In reality, I've actually forgotten this thing existed. But it's pretty strong, as you can tell. It's knocking out my characters with one hit. So you're gonna have to go and make sure you speed your characters up. Even if I haven't been using it a whole lot before this point, haste is a very good weapon to use, or a very good power to use. Tidus should have it, because it's along his sphere path on the grid, but other characters can eventually get it. I think by the next episode you'll find that Auron has haste as well. Aaron survived that. Notice what it's doing. Aside from its regular attack that happens during its turn, it is going and... Oh, Auron has haste now. It's going and counter-attacking with this Blast Punch move. Now, it's not as powerful as its normal attack, but it's certainly something you gotta be careful about. Go ahead. Also notice what I'm doing. I've done this with a number of different bosses and enemies before. I'm cycling out my characters to make sure that each character in the game has at least something to do with the battle. That way they all get experience points. Notice I'm defending to prevent my ass from getting kicked. And Protect will do us quite a bit good here too. Notice that it's also not always counter-attacking. Although it will now. Ah, it still took her down with one hit. Well, she wasn't at max HP or anything. So that would kind of explain that. But the thing is still quite powerful. This may be the first time... Oh. Okay. I can't tell if I got that or not. I think I did. Also note that in the last episode, I had fought that other summoner in that sort of hidden temple, and my Bahamut had gotten beaten up and had to desummon it. Notice I did not access a save point to heal my characters, so Yuna still can't summon it. I had to settle for Ifrit. Something you gotta pay attention to in this game. Make sure that you go and heal your characters when you get an opportunity. It healed him, but not enough. Yeah, that was kind of pathetic. I have something else I think is kind of funny. Why are the Guado so willing to follow Seymour? I mean, he's half Guado, so they have some sort of like weird like kinsmanship thing going there. But they seem to be willing to follow him to a point of being a fallacy, because here we are. It's an obvious case that Yuna is still trying to defeat Sin. And you'd think that would be something the Guado would be interested in, you know, going through with. Because Yuna's not going to go over to climb up Mount Gagazet here and then go into Zanarkand if she didn't intend to defeat Sin. So despite that, they're still trying to stop her. I guess I'm gonna go pull Shiva out. Oh, summoning Shiva is such a pain because, well, my compiler, I keep using that word again. My emulator doesn't really render this too well. It has something to do with the transparency of the ice crystals, which is something I'm surprised PS2 can do so well, considering that the PS2's shader capabilities weren't exactly incredible. But they pulled it off. Oh, wow. Well, at least Shiva can heal herself better than Ifrin could. And time to limit break. Oh, that was a lot of damage. Had I broken the damage limit with her, I don't know how much I would have done. And of course, she didn't survive the counterattacks. But the damage should be good enough to get us to the end of the battle. One of the things that you do in this game, which is something you did in Final Fantasy VIII as well, because in Final Fantasy VIII, even though the summon, the Guardian Force they call them in that game, even though they didn't replace your characters on the battle screen, they did replace like the HP and stuff of your characters. That way the Guardian Force or the summon creature would take damage instead of your normal character. Sort of the same thing that you do a lot with in Final Fantasy X. You may summon an Aeon just to take a hit, then either desummon it or let it fight until it gets beaten. But you're not always summoning just to do damage. Really, did I use Prey? That's like one of the most useless attacks in the game. Oh, it only has 20,000 HP left, which is quite a bit actually. This boss is a lot tougher than I remembered. Or than I expected, rather. I didn't really remember this fight. Let's do Grand Summon. Yeah, I believe this is the third creature I summoned during this boss battle. And of course you saw this coming, didn't you? I'd do the overdrive attack and then my Aeon would get the shit kicked out of it. But the damage is done and the battle is almost over. And although this thing went and cast barriers on itself, and probably Shell too. It's low enough HP that I think we can just bash to death. Oh. It's immune to the water attacks of Tidus's Brotherhood sword. There, I did pray again. What the hell am I doing that for? Then we left Auron to finish the fight for us. Now, something I'm a little bit disappointed about is it was a pretty big battle, but once it's all over with, there's no, like, storyline stuff that happens after that. No dialogue, no Guado running away in fear, none of that, just this. And at this anticlimactic moment, I'll end the episode. Thanks for watching, and be sure to catch the next episode.